You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Jenny Klein.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with a new show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems, and our solutions. It's a time for us to get together and talk things over, think things over, and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can all help each other make this world and our lives just a little bit better. Did you ever meet somebody who thinks that they're the only one who has anything right and nobody else matters and nothing else matters because they're right about everything? Let's take a closer look at just that issue. Kara, hi.
Hi, Dr. Klein.
You don't look too happy.
No, I'm not too happy.
What's the matter?
Well, I'm here because my friend, or I use that term loosely, my friend, we had a big argument, and she said, you know, Carrie, you better go talk to somebody. And I'm thinking, yeah, the heck with you. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm running into this a lot. And
What do you mean by this?
okay, I'll start to tell. The reason why I came to see you is because I read that you're kind of normal, because most therapists aren't kind of normal. So you were kind of normal, so
Down to earth.
yeah, so I could come in and talk to you like a normal person, not like, you know, so.
Not like I'm a shrink and I
Yeah.
talk big words.
Well, or just, you know, going to look down or whatever.
Nah,
So,
I
you
know.
know, because I really didn't want to be here to begin with. Okay. So I have this friend, and I can't say hello without her arguing with me.
You mentioned before that you were arguing, you had an argument with her.
That is the basis of our relationship. But the reason why I'm here is because I find there are more people like that than not. So that's why I'm here, because something's not right. Something's not right. I find, even at a cocktail party, you go to a cocktail party and you're meeting someone and you're talking to them and you talk about politics. I know that's a very loaded subject.
And everybody's choice is the right choice and yours is the wrong choice.
No, actually, you know, I think it's, and I don't want to preface every word that comes out of my mouth as, in my opinion. But you know what? That's what it is. In my opinion, in their opinion,
Right.
in his opinion, in her opinion. But I am so bloody tired of arguing with people. You cannot say, well, I don't really agree with that, without some kind of a debate, some kind of a bullying
They
argument.
have to be right.
Yes, they have to be right, and they have to put you down for what you think
Well,
or feel.
well, it's easier to put you down for them than to put themselves down for not knowing everything.
But they don't put themselves down.
I-
They
well-
put the other person down. What they do is they're so smart. I have never seen anything like it in my life. You know, well, that's a stupid thing to think. Thinking, how could you say that to somebody?
Why should they call themselves stupid, which they do in an unconscious way, when they can call you stupid?
But I don't call anyone stupid.
You're not
you know
like
what?
that.
If you are going to,
You
know,
say, "That's
it's
my
your
opinion." Right.
I think that's understood. You know, I'm not going to walk around for the rest of my life every time I open my mouth, say, in my opinion, in my opinion, in my opinion. But I don't debate. I listen to what they say. Sometimes they say something that makes sense. But I never make any sense, ever. You know, I might as well put, you know, a gag on my
Who does
mouth.
that remind you of when you were young? Who treated you like that when you were young? Anybody? Know it all? They knew it all and you knew nothing? And you were always the one that
I
didn't
don't
know
think
anything?
so.
No?
I don't think my parents felt like they knew it all.
Good. But the rest of the world,
I don't think.
see, many people build inside themselves some perfectly brilliant person they should be. And then it goes down into their unconscious mind, which is 90% of their brain. And it hates them if they are not right. And anyone has a different opinion. Instead of hating themselves, they put the other person down. That's a system inside the mind.
In everything that they say? Well, I must have a flag on me that attracts people like this, because I think that I can certainly discuss and tell people what I think or what I feel, and sometimes I'm not really sure. Sometimes I'm middle of the road.
But that's okay with
you. Do you know
you.
what somebody said to me one
What?
day? Honest to God, I couldn't believe it. We were talking about during the last election, are you conservative, which that's a bad thing to be, or are you liberal? That's supposed to be the good thing to be, because that means you're intelligent or whatever. I don't know where people came up with this, but all of a sudden that if you're liberal, you're intelligent, and if you're conservative, you're dumb. So I was...
Absolute.
They were asking me, how I felt about this subject. And I said, I have mixed feelings about it. I can see both sides. And I said, I'm kind of middle of the road. And you know what this man said to me? He said, you know what happens when you're in the middle of the road? You get run over. I said,
well, if you have a runaway driver,
I
you
said,
do.
I beg your pardon? And he said, can't you make up your mind? You're middle of the road. You're on the fence. Choose a side. And I said, I didn't think you had to.
Kara, you have enough health to know you're not sure. You don't get mad at yourself for that. Many, many more people dump on themselves if they don't have the right answer for everything.
And what's the right
and
answer?
instead of feeling that, putting themselves down because they imagine they should know everything, they put you down.
But what's the right answer?
There's no right
answer. 2
answer.
and 2 is 4.
That's
so
a
that's
fact.
the right answer. 4.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right.
But these are opinions. And when somebody thinks they should know everything and they imagine they're the brilliant person of the world, they will hate themselves if anyone has a different opinion than them. And instead of hating themselves and being aware of it, they will project that self-hate to you. They will shoot you. You ever play cowboys when you're a kid?
No.
Well, cowboys, did you ever see a cowboy movie?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the guy pulls the gun out of the holster and the finger is pointing down. And what does he do? He points it at someone else and shoots him. That's what I'm talking about. Instead of hating myself for not knowing everything, for not being perfect, I'm going to put you down for whatever opinion you have, because mine is the only opinion in the world. It's a very common thing.
The thing is, I don't feel bad about myself because of this.
No, I know you don't.
I am infuriated because of it, because I find that once you start a conversation with somebody, they start to go off like this, and I just walk away.
Kara,
it's like enough.
Kara, not everybody is like you that says, I can learn from something from someone. I don't know everything. That's a healthy attitude. But this world is not necessarily all like you.
You know what I'm learning? I'm going to write a book, and the name of the book is Moron, and I have a lot of raw material.
Good.
It's like, I can't believe, and nobody will say, well, gee, I don't know about that. Or, everybody is, oh, well, yeah. And, if you say something about a movie that you like and just say, well, gee, I saw a movie and I really, I enjoyed it, meaning I enjoyed it. You don't have to enjoy it, but I enjoyed it. Perhaps you would enjoy it. People will come back and see the movie and say, I can't believe that you actually recommended a movie like that to me. It was awful.
Well, why don't you write a book about it?
Moron. What do you think?
Like, if I don't know everything, I'm a moron? That's how people treat you, because they think they're a moron if they don't know everything. And instead, they project that criticism to you, because you don't need to know everything to be comfortable with yourself. The reason you get mad at those people is because they're unreasonable and they're mean.
But there's so many.
No kidding.
Dr. Klein, that's why I'm here, because she told me there was something wrong with me because I was getting upset because she was acting like, honest to God, if you said it was black, she had to say it was white. I feel like I'm with a 2-year-old half the time.
Kara, when you were a kid and you went to school, didn't you meet one kid that knew it all?
Oh, the little one who sat in the front, who always had the hand up and always was saying, yeah.
Yeah, I.
Yeah.
And I'm the world. And when you were a little kid, you couldn't change her, could you? She stayed that way.
No, I would stay away from people like that because, if a kid was like that, they used to make me so upset.
Why?
Because they were so
arrogant.
I didn't know that word at that.
Self-important.
Yeah, but it was always about them. Me. I have the right answer. Shut up. Shut up.
The fact is, they
sick?
can't.
Are you sick of hearing your own voice?
No.
I am.
They are sick of putting themselves down and knowing about it. Instead, they put others down.
And I have to tell you, my husband is like that.
No.
Yes. If
Why?
you get up
married someone like that?
Well, he wasn't like that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think the older he gets, he just knows everything. I just look and I go, oh.
And he has people who are stuck in this idea, I should know everything, have no room for anyone else or for anything else.
You know what he'll tell me? Don't you read the newspaper?
Did you ever hear the phrase, that person has a big image?
No.
Or that person thinks...
Big head. I heard that when I was growing
up.
up.
Perfect. Or has a big head. Okay.
Yeah, that was it. That's how I grew up.
Okay. Well,
don't say anything nice.
In their head, when they're little, they have an imagination. And for whatever reason, different for each person, they imagine that they are this perfectly brilliant person, and that's who they should be. And if anyone has a different opinion, they have to stomp on them instead of stomping on themselves for not knowing everything.
Okay.
Do you get this? It's called self-hate.
Yeah, I do, but it's not coming across as self-hate. It's coming across as being totally obnoxious. And I find, I hate to say it, but I don't like people. I always thought I was a friendly, nice person, but the more people I meet, I'm thinking, are you kidding?
Well, sure, because you don't like people putting you down. Why would you? You don't put yourself down.
But, it's almost, I met someone in the store one day, and she was telling me, it was so funny, she was telling me about how she was writing a book, which I thought, that's a good thing. Great. I said, that's so great. And she told me a little bit about the book, and I said, oh, that sounds so interesting. And then she was talking about how she has 2 master's degrees, and she just started saying these crazy things.
Well, she's selling her importance to you.
Well, I thought, I was very impressed she was writing a book. I said, good for you, that's great. I felt happy for her. I don't, geez, I never even thought of writing a book, but that's great if she wanted to write a book. And then she just kept it up, so I said,
see how important
I'm going to write a book.
See how important I am. See how great I am.
You know what? You just gave me a good idea. I'm going to write a book too.
Good.
And she said, what are you going to write a book about? And I said, I'm going to write a book about people and, how they come across sometimes. And she said, it's going to be a funny book. And she said, oh, well, you're funny. She said, that should be a good book. I said, and you know what? You just gave me the name of the book. And she said, oh, what? I said, you'll know it when the book comes out. I'm not writing a book. But that's the book I was talking about.
Yeah, you were saying moron.
Yeah.
Write it. Why don't you write it?
Who's going to buy a book about morons?
Excuse me.
They're out there, and
there are
you have to deal with them. So who wants to buy a book about morons?
Kara,
Will a moron buy it? No.
It doesn't matter who wants to buy it. It matters that you want to write it.
Okay.
Don't not do something you want to do because you can't guarantee someone's going to buy it. You write from your heart, from your experience, with your passion, with your complaints about this, and educate yourself as to why this bothers you.
I don't know
Because
why it
they
bothers
treat,
me.
these people treat everyone else as if they're a moron if they're not in agreement with them. Don't they?
Right.
Now that's where that word
Right.
came up for your book.
Right.
Do you ever feel that they're trying to tell you you're dumb because they know everything?
Yeah. Why don't
And
I
do
think
you-
like they do?
And the book title that you came up with is expressing how they are treating you like you're a moron because if you don't agree with them, you're stupid.
So the book is more about me.
Well, if you say you write with a funny, you have that funny ability, you can say, at first when I was a kid and that kid in school was doing what she was doing, I felt like a moron because she seemed to know everything. Then I found out I'm not the moron. A moron is a person, and I don't like the word particularly.
even know,
But
you know.
moron is a person who is not aware of themselves, and the things they say really are very offensive. You know, when they're being hard on you because you don't agree with them, the best thing you can tell them is this: why are you being so hard on yourself? Because they don't want to know that they're putting themselves down if they don't know everything. And that's unconscious. And if you say that, they're going to back off. Don't be so hard on you. Don't be so hard on yourself, you say to them kindly. That's why they're hard on you, to avoid putting themselves down because they don't know everything. That means they're a moron. If it's either a hero or a zero. That's what sits inside our little mind.
So these people walking around doing this stuff, they're all insecure and they're all, why are they so insecure? That, you know, how did,
Well, they don't want to know they're insecure. They want to make everybody else think they're a moron so they don't have to say it to themselves. They hear themselves putting themselves down because they don't know anything. That's why they can't accept another opinion. You can. You even
I'm
learn
just
from
thinking,
people.
what's wrong with me that I'm not saying, you don't think the way I do? I just don't think people have to think the way I
Honey,
do.
There's not, the only, you don't know why they do that. You just don't like them, and I don't blame you. I don't either. But the point is, I understand that they are so ignorant of whoever they created in their mind that knows everything, that they have to put everyone else down,
I
has a
almost
different
get
opinion.
embarrassed for them. I almost get embarrassed. You know, when they're, well, what's the matter? You know, I look at them like,
What's wrong with you? I'm telling you what's wrong. What's wrong with them is they have shoved that belief they should know everything into their unconscious, and it operates at a very fast speed, putting everyone else's opinion down but their own.
but where does that come from? Does it come from sitting in school and having the teachers tell you, you know, giving you feedback that you're so smart?
I'd have to ask them about their history. If they walked in here telling me, well, you don't know anything, you know, I don't believe in shrinks and blah, 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 and blah, 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 you people talk, you know, and I know this, and I read that, and I wrote that, I would say to them, why are you so hard on yourself? I wouldn't take it personally, because I know it isn't about me. I mean, I know what I know, and I don't know lots of things, so what? Who cares? Nobody knows everything. But the point is, they don't know that. They're operating, and they have to put everyone else's opinion down instead of hating themselves for not knowing everything and everything they say is right. That's not true. And it's not a shame, and it's not a failure. It's called human. Humans are not God. Maybe God knows everything, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the point is, humans are just humans. They're mortal, they live, they die. and they're limited.
Right.
And they don't want to hear about that. They want to live with the imaginary me. And then when someone walks around and says, oh, I like this book. No, that's not the best book. And they put you down. They have a big problem. But
Well,
you never understand why they're doing that. And I'm explaining to you why they're doing that. They are so insecure that they act like they know everything. And everybody else is a dummy. Is a moron.
well, when as you're talking to me, I'm thinking the way I grew up, my mother wasn't very smart, book smart, but she was very capable about a lot of things.
There's all kinds of smart.
Right. So she wasn't book smart and she wasn't educated, but she was very capable, and I always had the feeling that she could take care of business.
Well, then she's smart.
I felt very secure about that. But
She's smart.
it was just her way.
That's okay.
No, but you know what I mean? It was just, well, this is how you do it. It was this way. This was the right way.
Oh. So
There-
your
there-
way was never right?
But there was no discussion about it. And there wasn't, I'm so smart.
You couldn't
and
afford to
I
be
know-
angry at her, could you?
Know everything.
You couldn't afford to be angry at mother because it's mother's way or you're wrong.
Well, yeah. That was it.
So
this
isn't
is
this
the
the-
way you comb your hair. You put a barrette in your hair. This is the way you comb your hair.
Okay.
There was no tolerance for anything else. It was just this is the
And
way.
what happened?
But she never said, I know the right way. It was just this is the way. Just like the sun is coming up today, it was almost like a fact.
This is who
the
you...
sun is coming up. The sun is going
Kara,
down.
Kara, wait, just a minute. That really made you think that it's mom's way or my way must be wrong. If I want to do it my hair a different way, that's wrong.
I didn't even think about doing my hair a different
Okay.
way because
When-
that's how you did your
But
hair.
if your mother was teaching you something and it was absolute, when these people have these absolute opinions, your anger that you didn't feel towards your mother comes up at them. Right?
But you said that you would get angry at them too.
Yes,
Or annoyed.
but what I would feel that way also, and I would say to them, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself thinking whatever you think is right.
So,
And if
so
not,
you would
they
be
hate
able to
themselves.
view it more objectively,
Yes.
where I get all fired up about it.
Right, but the thing with your mother that you've shared is that you couldn't afford to get really angry at your mother. She was just teaching you how to comb your hair, but that's the way. And if you thought anything different than her, that wouldn't be okay.
So it wasn't, that she was saying, in my opinion, this is the way you should do your hair. She didn't say that.
No, that's the way she knew,
It
and
was,
that's how she said it.
This is it, and
But then it put some doubt if you wanted to do it differently. Maybe it's not mommy's way, it's wrong.
But I didn't even think about doing it a different way.
You didn't even think about it.
No.
No, because she was very firm about it. So did you ever think, gee, only mother knows how to do things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I used to worry if
Now
something happened to her.
when you talk to these people and they sound like only they know what they're talking about and you don't know nothing. That we're going to talk about at our next session.
So
I
that
want you to think about that. But you have been helpful because you connected that feeling that mother had one rigid way, just like these people are very rigid. But she wasn't mean. She was just teaching you this is the way. And their opinion is the opinion. And there's no others allowed. And you never thought to really say, what do I think?
Yeah,
You know.
because it wasn't, my mother wasn't saying, in my opinion, this is how it should be. She was saying, it was almost like this was a fact.
This is a fact.
This
yeah.
is a fact. This is how you do this. This is how you do that.
That's the way
That's
she
it.
knew, and that's it. And you thought, oh God, if someone
But
else
I
comes
didn't
across,
think. I just
you just did it that way.
Yeah. And in fact, I probably still do things like that.
But the anger you have at these people when they're trying to silence you, mother wasn't trying to do that. She was just telling you the way she knew. And how you took it was, if I think differently, I'm wrong. So when you're with these people, if they have an opinion, you have an opinion. You don't do that to other people. You respect other people's opinion, and you listen because you could learn something like you did from your mother.
Right.
When you didn't know. And you're okay with that. But with these people, they're very arrogant. And they're not doing it because they care to show you how to do your hair. They just want to be the one who knows everything, and they'll put your opinion down.
So we can put them in a category there, and I was calling them morons. They're the morons. But
No, they're trying to make everybody else feel like a moron.
right, but I call them morons. But my thing is that I get more upset about it than somebody else would.
Yeah, because you brought me the history as to maybe that bothered you, that mother was absolute about how you do something. And
So-
these people are absolute about what they know.
Okay, so I need some coping strategies here.
Okay.
How, with this friend of mine, the one who never
Okay.
stops. She never stops.
I want you to think about what you brought up that was helpful, and I want you to think about what I've said about building that perfect self. Okay? And when we talk next time, I want you to think about it as to say, that's connected, that feeling that someone's absolute and you know nothing, and it happens with others. Okay? So we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I wish
This
I
is
have to
something
go write this down.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And you're going to be a writer. I know you are.
Okay, I'm going to write it all down so I know what you
Okay.
said.
Okay. Okay, take care.
Thanks, Dr. Klein.
Okay, and now I'd like to introduce Carol Dorley. You
Hello.
play that role so well because you
Oh,
are a
thank you.
therapist,
Yes,
right?
I am.
Where?
Somerville?
In Somerville. Uh-huh. Okay, Carol Dorley, thank you very much for another wonderful show.
You're
And
very
I want to
welcome.
thank you. Thanks very much, Carol Dorley, for doing that. And really helps the audience, I'm sure. I want to thank you very much for watching and for saying hello when I'm bopping around town. And I'd like to thank you for your letters and for watching the show. And I want to know if you have some idea of a show that you would like us to do, of some human problem. We'll be happy to consider it and do it. In the meantime, I want you to take good care of yourself and just keep in mind the things that are important to you, and be really, really good to yourself. Just keep looking through the looking glass. Take care. Oh, another thing. The show is now on YouTube, and people in Europe can see it, and my wonderful camera guy from Premier Media, Kaz Beelan, has told me today that the language, it comes across in Europe in their own language. It's amazing. Take care. Be good to yourself. Just keep looking through the looking glass. Bye-bye.
Dr. Jenny Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free. Just go to drjennyklein.com.